Neshoba, Lauderdale, Jones, Scott, and Smith, Winston, Leak, you better act right. Don't drive slow and be wild at night. 'Cause you need to know that if you do, that Scotty Ray is watching you. He's everywhere, he's everywhere. That man is faster than a scalded cat. If you do something dumb, then you better run with haste. Scotty Ray's at a wreck before it ever takes place.
And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. This is Odie, and we're off to the races.
It is. It's Friday Eve, and here we are. We'll be back tomorrow with a fun Friday.
Yeah, I joked earlier about that, and I'm one of those, and I think there's probably a lot of men. Women don't do it, but men do. You reach in the closet, and whatever is next in line, you put it on, and you don't necessarily even know what you're wearing until a couple hours later, and somebody goes, that was this morning for me.
Well, at least it's buttoned straight.
I did get it buttoned. There's some mornings that I miss a few.
We had Jeff over here looking to make sure I wasn't talking about him.
I had to check my buttons. Now, as long as it's ironed, I put it on. That's all that matters.
Y'all will remember I was at a murder scene, and I left in a hurry from here. I had on a greasy shirt. I was working on a truck, and I jumped and I grabbed another shirt, and I tried to button it going down the highway, and I messed them up.
And Rob wouldn't even stop the.
Everybody during it was not even worried about the murder. They were going like, "You need to do something with your shirt. It doesn't line up." It was really funny.
And Rob kept saying, "Just come on."
Yeah. He did. Cameraman, they never tell you what you look like.
He was laughing behind the scenes.
That was one of the funniest things that has ever happened. How do you feel today? We certainly hope well as you're off to the races. I see the sun coming up through the window over there. That looks great. Looking forward to it. No fog this morning, but it will be cloudy for the majority of the day. We'll have some peaking a little bit there, but my oh my. What you up doing this morning? You had coffee?
Well, let me tell you, no, I don't do coffee. Diet Coke's my coffee, but I'll tell you what, driving up here with the sun rising, man, it was pretty. You had some orange and pinks and purples and all that going on. Yeah, it was good morning.
God's got his paintbrush out.
That's right. There. But watch out, Odie, now that Happy Friday Eve, that's trademarked by me and Nick now, so just be careful using that.
Now,
okay?
We've been using that for a while. We got that on recording.
Well, even Nick went back and called it Eve if you go far back.
Right. Yeah.
We sure
that's what we do.
Trying to get our line over there.
It just sounds better than Wednesday. That's all it is.
You're not going to have horns like Dustin did yet.
No, I know what I'm doing here.
That's why he moved over there. He's going to hide the clock now that it works.
That's right. Senator Jeff Tate with us this morning. We got a lot of questions for Jeff. He's going to talk to us about what's been going on in Jackson, Mississippi. So, and this is just one of those things. We get up, we go to work every day, and it's kind of a disconnect as to what actually goes on in Jackson because you're busy. And you don't always hear from politicians of what's going on behind the scenes. It's like you'll see it online maybe, but here's the guy that's going to put it to you of what really went on over there.
Yeah.
Weekend is coming. We're going to have some rain on Saturday. And again, as we mentioned, it may be some changes to outdoor events because we're looking at an 80% chance of rain on Saturday. So if you had an Easter egg hunt and there's a lot of that starting now, those are going to be interrupted by the rain.
But Sunday's supposed to look decent.
Oh, yeah, nothing but tornadoes coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's just what we've had in the past. Major storms. This Sunday's going to be all right for this week.
Oh, no, I'm serious. We do have tornadoes coming.
Be good for ratings.
We're still in a level 2. We're used to being in a level 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, we're level 2 as we look at this.
We can deal with a 2.
Yeah, buddy. It's coming.
But if we get our shields down.
Late Sunday night, and this could carry on through Monday afternoon. They're tweaking the timeline on this, but definitely late into the morning hours and possibly some extended time because we'll watch it. We'll know more about it. We're still days out from all of this.
We'll know more about it Monday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll be able to tell you the whole thing Monday of what went on there.
Used to how bad the weather was, you could tell by Brian Hutton Jr. rolling up his sleeves. Now you just look at the YouTube count of how many people are watching Scotty Ray, and then you know how bad it is. And so 2 weeks ago, it was at 28.7 thousand viewers on YouTube watching Scotty Ray, and you were like, "Hey, Jeff Tate, look at your phone." My kids went crazy. 3 or 4 people text me like, "Jeff, you need to look at your phone." So, that's how bad it is, depending on how many people are actually watching Scotty Ray.
It was 228 1,000 people sitting there watching that weather come through.
It was something to watch, y'all. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of things we're going to talk about. This is one of them up and coming that we're going to tell you about. Sometimes you lose your shirt while you're in the midst of doing a crime. We'll tell you what I'm talking about in just a moment there. Odie, keep your shirt on. That's why you have an undershirt on, right?
That's one. There's three reasons to have an undershirt.
Please do tell.
One is it keeps you warmer in the wintertime.
Okay, all right, this is summer.
Yes, winter.
It keeps you cooler in the summertime.
Okay, keep going.
It looks good.
That could be, well...
Are you one of those who say that cold water boils faster than hot water?
No, I've never tested that theory.
Now, I will say this. There was a reason that the old farmers wore long-sleeve shirts, because of sweat, and if a breeze came by, it would cool. I don't know about all that.
A little bit, but it keeps me a little drier. And then the main reason is if you're ever in a spot.
Oh, don't go there. Don't go there. You keep your spot to yourself. I know a lot of deputies wear it because of the badge. Because if you put just a shirt,
and
it will take the skin off of you there.
But it is comfortable. I don't like shirts rubbing back and forth on my skin. So
when I was in middle school and high school, it was more of a fashion thing. Like you were supposed to wear an undershirt. And I remember I did that. But after high school, I never did. Now, I do want to try the whole, it helps with sweat. Like it'll absorb it and then it won't get in your dress shirt. Like, just haven't tried it yet, but
I don't wear them.
It really helps.
A lot of people do like Odie, but I'm not one of those. That'd be like an extra item of choices I'd have to make in the morning. Oh, have mercy.
No, they're all white. I've got a few gray ones.
We'll be right back. We're getting this day started just for you. Wake up, we're sitting somewhere around 49 right now. Again, up to 79, possibly 80 today. We'll let you know. 83 is what we're headed for. We'll be right back.
All aboard for the 22nd Annual Loose Caboose Arts and Crafts Festival, coming your way April the 12th in downtown Newton. Craft vendors, carnival rides, food vendors, the dinosaur experience for the kids at the Kids Zone. Zach Logan will be the headliner for the entertainment at Ray Payne Park. The Bank First Car Show returns with cars, trucks, racing vehicles, and classic cars. Plus a motorcycle show as well. It's all happening this year at the 22nd Annual Loose Caboose Festival, downtown Newton. See you there.
Hey, welcome to Kia Meridian.
We're a family-owned business that has been serving the community for 25 years.
If you're looking for a new Kia, we have them. And if we don't, we'll find it.
No stress, no hassle, just the best deals. And right now we can get rates as low as 0%.
Shop local, get the car you want. And be a part of the Kia Meridian family.
Have you been wanting your own building, your own shed? Speak to our friends at Best Sadia Building, 601-728-1954. Now, they can custom build you a home from a barn dominium. Maybe it's a shed that you're needing, or a simple place to park your car, a garage, a camp house. Maybe you need a place to park your tractor, your motorcycle, or even that lawnmower. They can custom design whatever it is you need. Quality work, trustworthy, Best Sadia Buildings. Speak with Drew, 601-728-1954. The tractors are rolling at Freeman Tractor on Highway 494. Drop in and see Keith, Cornbread, or Buttermilk. They've got a tractor that fits the need that you have. Whether it's a 26 horsepower, a 40, or bigger. Plus, they offer 0% financing for up to 96 months. Whether it's a part, a new tractor, 0% financing, or just simply a laugh. 601-626-8759, Highway 494 in Collinsville. That's Freeman Tractor.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray along with Odie, and welcome. What were you telling us, Jeff?
Yeah.
Say what now?
I got a text a minute ago that said it's still 47 and chunky, and it's always a little cooler because the sun hadn't quite made it there yet.
Okay.
You keep picking on them, then people gonna come for you.
It's a little different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now there's two of them out there that know that.
Let's see here. We had a lot of people talking about, Cynthia talking about how cotton cools you and keeps you warmer there. Pittsburgh is joining us this morning. Welcome.
Yes.
And Rodney Scarborough has a good point there. Back in the 70s, there was no such thing. Just ask Johnny Lee. No, you got to show your chest. No undershirts for anybody during the 70s. That wouldn't have been cool. You had to try to
Get
be
your
Burt
necklace
Reynolds.
called, yeah.
That's what it was. And the more gold you could put on your chest, I guess the bigger star you were.
Yeah, something like that.
I didn't do that. I'll just tell you. I look the same as I did in 1982, just like I do now. We brought up.
You own the same amount of cows too, don't you?
Yes, I do. Same cows. Don't forget, this is coming up this weekend also, and should the weather do anything to this, we'll let you know. Racing Friday night for sure. We'll let you know if there's any changes there. Coming up on Saturday night if the rain tries to mess up the track.
The
there.
House of Hook
Yes,
Showdown, the super late model, 800 horsepower
Is that what it
plus
is?
cars. Yes.
Miss Peggy will let us know.
Yep. She. There we go. Tomorrow night, super late models. I tell you, it's something. You go out there and see that little track, and you're going, wait a minute, these cars doing over 100 mile an hour around this thing on dirt. And there's how many of them out there at one time?
There's a bunch of them.
It's a
like,
bunch
get out of my
of them.
way.
It's good, yeah. So
Racing
y'all
is
go
not
check
one.
it out.
And you've been to races, haven't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was addicted to it whenever they first opened back up. So when I was a little kid, my dad, my mom, me, and a couple other families, we had an actual spot on the backstretch at Why Not where we had a bread truck that we would get on top of, had a little fence around it, and had the little plexiglass that come down to keep the dust off of you and everything.
Yeah.
Eat hot tamales out there. That was just like a tradition. And then they closed it down, and they opened it back up in the summer and fall of '06. And went out there a good bit. Haven't been out there lately, but I grew up in Causeyville, so right down the road.
Yeah, it's right close to you there.
Yeah.
We mentioned this yesterday. I was out by the old highway patrol station there across from where the new softball complex is there for MCC. And I couldn't help but notice a large amount of police that were coming. Somebody running across the parking lot. Well, we need to stop. I backed into a parking place. Sure enough, we had a manager from Rose's following someone that amongst in between Rose's and where you would get over to CVS, a shirt was removed. I mean, well, that's kind of peculiar, but it is Meridian, Mississippi.
Yeah.
But it was warm.
Apparently, we'll use the word alleged because you haven't been before a judge to be determined, but accusations state that a female entered a store, took undergarments, and that would be underwear, and I guess was going to change undergarments there as she ran across because she took her shirt off.
Naturally.
She would run inside CVS to the bathroom, lock the door, and complete the change, and goes, I ain't got nothing. She was cuffed and taken away there as we look at this. You can watch the video there that we've got here. And again, they're all alleged until you stand behind the judge and he brings the gavel down. But that is the accusations, and that was what the ride downtown consisted of. Interesting there as we look at this. And then,
Like Odie be a good judge of this.
Yeah.
Whether or not this is right or not.
it ain't serious till this second car pulls up and it's McQueen on the situation. McQueen showed up and helped out with the situation there as he arrived.
It is good to see him back.
I'm glad he's doing better there.
Yes.
But if you were wondering what all the police presence was in College Park yesterday afternoon, that's what it was about. And so often things are stolen, they have no idea which way they go, where they went. We got one that was found out.
The worst location in the world.
That's it. Bill Etheridge Lincoln Mercury. You just can't find it anymore there. Now, we've had something going on, and we brought Jeff in to clarify this. As I was talking earlier, a lot of things going on at the Capitol that you don't know. And for those of you who are not aware, Jeff is a Republican state senator for the state of Mississippi. And we've had some bills go through. Some I agree with, some I don't. And explain to us what has gone on over there with this, Jeff. You know where
Okay,
I'm
so
going.
I guess we want to talk about the tax bill.
Yeah,
right?
let's talk about
Okay.
tax bill.
So earlier this year, the House passed a bill that was going to have an elimination of the income tax over the course of several years. So it would take about 12 years for it to phase out the income tax. The income tax a few years ago was at 5% for the state of Mississippi. It's going down to 4% if we take no further action. And that bill would eventually get it to nothing. What that bill also did is put a 5% gasoline tax in place. At Sam's Club last month, I know we had gas as low as $2.40 a gallon.
Yeah.
That'd be a 12-cent increase. It since went up from that.
Per gallon.
Per gallon, right. So the 5% would be more than that. It had a reduction in the grocery tax by about 2%, but then it had a sales tax increase of 1.5% on everything. clothes, utilities, everything. Senate looked at it, and when I say Senate, we're going to talk leadership. We're going to talk Delbert Hoseman. There's a lot of times that the House will look at something, the Senate will look at something. Members don't get to vote on it.
It's the key people in charge.
It's the key people. And so when I say the House, we're talking Speaker Jason White. When I say the Senate, it's Delbert Hoseman, Lieutenant Governor. And that was rejected. The Senate then came up with a plan that said, hey, I tell you what, we'll just lower the income tax from 4% to 3%. We're not going to do the sales tax increase. We'll do the grocery tax, but we don't want to do anywhere near as much on the fuel tax. We only want to do a 3-cent per gallon tax. Neither side could agree on that. So then the latest plan that came out about 2 weeks ago was that the Senate came up with a plan that was going to eliminate the income tax over the course of the same amount of time that the House had. However, there had to be triggers in there. Our economy had to perform at a certain level for it to go down. It wasn't just going to automatically go down.
You had to have growth every year for it to drop in your income tax.
You had to prove that your revenue coming in would not be less than the amount that you spent. So you would have to appropriate a certain amount of money each year and make sure that your revenue that comes in exceeds that. And as long as it did that, then it would go down each year. What's funny is this is exactly what Senator Chris McDaniel had actually proposed a few years ago when the House first mentioned this. He had talked about having triggers in effect, that if you have these triggers, then you know that you're being safe, because the main debate out there is, this is a large portion of the income that comes in that funds state government. Now, there's a lot of waste in state government. There's no denying that. Okay,
and that was one of my points we want to get to today.
And so but still, there are things that the state has to do. And so to make sure that we don't just have a wrecked economy, that we do it responsibly. And so that was part of the Senate plan. The Senate plan was, okay, we're not going to do 5% on the gasoline tax. We're going to do a 3-cent year 1, 6-cent year 2, and 9-cent year 3 gasoline tax increase. And then we were going to have a 2% reduction in groceries. That came out, had bipartisan support. Both Republicans and Democrats voted for it. Both Republicans and Democrats voted against it. I voted for it, and I want to explain my vote on why I voted for it. We are taxed on a lot of things. Just about every single item inside this studio right now,
Correct.
You had to pay 7% tax on.
Yep.
The tags on all of our vehicles, we had to pay tax on. That garbage can out there that you had to pay a tax on. There's a lot of things that we have to pay tax on. And there's 2 things that I have the most problem with paying tax on. One of them is your property. I don't think that it's right that you have to pay a tax to own your property.
Never own it. Mm-hmm.
The second one is I don't like the fact that you have to pay a tax on your work. I don't like that the more property you try to obtain, which was part of the original, it was pursuit of ownership of property was one of the first rights that we were supposed to have. And I don't like that you have to pay more tax on that. I don't like the fact that the more you work, the harder you work, the longer you work, the more tax you have to pay. Now, the legislature is over one of those 2 things, and income is one of them. And so if I knew that there was a bill that I could vote on where my children, for the vast majority of their adult life, would never have to pay income tax, my grandchildren would never have to pay income tax, that was something I would need to get behind. Now, I came on the show about a month ago when this first came out, and look, let's talk about this. As soon as we passed the bill, I text you and let you know the bill passed, and you said, hey, I want to get you on the show and let's talk about it. I told you, tell me the next time you have an opening, and today was that next opening.
That's correct.
So here I am. Now, on my Facebook account, I'll put on there that we passed a good voting bill, that we passed a good veterans bill, that we passed a bill against DI. I haven't posted anything about this because I don't think it's really that much to write home about.
I agree.
But I have to either vote yes or no. Or I could do the chicken thing and just not vote at all. But I voted on this one, and I voted yes. And when I came on the show a month ago, I said I have to see if the maths. I probably said that way too many times.
No, that's where I want to go with this.
Yes, sir. So if we look at year one of the grocery tax reduction and the gas tax increase, for every $100 that you spend at the grocery store, which is going to get you nowhere, but for every $100, that would equate to 67 gallons of gasoline. So if every time you spend $100 at the grocery store, if you purchase less than 67 gallons of gasoline, you're doing better. Okay. Year two, for every $100 you spend, it'd be 33 gallons. And year three, every $100 you spend, it'd be 22 gallons. Now, I know there's a lot of people that go through more than 22 gallons of gas before they do $100 worth of groceries, but that is where the math's on that. Meanwhile, your income tax is slowly being reduced. And I went to my accountant to try to get some statistics on what the state tax liability would be. And this is the situation we came up with. For every person, it's going to be different, okay? For retired people, they don't have an income. It doesn't matter. For people that are working, they may have a high income. It does matter. So what we did is we found a family that had a family income of $77,000.
Okay.
Okay, so 30 some odd thousand apiece. They have 2 children, so they can write off for 2 children. They have the standard deduction that they can take off. Their tax liability is $2,000. Okay. Under this tax plan, what they would do is basically reduce their tax by $500 within the first couple of years, and then $150 each year, lower and lower and lower until complete elimination, which would be about 10 years from now. So when you look at the income coming in, it makes sense to be for this. Now, those that travel a lot, and I know that Tahoe doesn't get the best gas mileage for you, it's going to hurt you more.
Oh, it's going to tear me up.
Without a doubt. But that's where that is. Now, I'll tell you this, that...
Did we study into that to see if they would still be married in 10 years when this...
Well, and you're bringing that up, and you're young, and if you need to go out and do more to make a little extra on the side, you can, which I don't think anybody ever should. But now you're talking, and I'm saying this because here I am, I'm 54 years old, kids are gone. We don't have tax deductions. What we got is what we have. We pay less in income tax, but we're paying more at the gas pump. We're paying more in sales tax, moving some of that tax around. And I get the aspect of if we make people pay at the gas pump, we make people pay at the sales tax. Now you've got a broader board of taxpayers. Now everybody who's out there buying stuff are paying taxes. Drug dealers is now paying taxes. Everybody else, landowners are being able to save a little bit if you were to get rid of land taxes. Workers get to save a little bit, but we're moving that tax around. So what would it take going on our groceries to not only eliminate our income tax, not drop, but eliminate our grocery tax? Something that every one of us have to do. We don't pay taxes on our medical, so why are we paying taxes on our food?
Well, if you look at the 50 states and you look at where we are, our income tax right now is pretty low. Our grocery tax is actually pretty high. Like, we're one of the few states that our sales tax is equal on groceries than everything else. Most states do not have that. Mm-hmm. So that was something that we've repeated for a good 8-9 months now, that if there's something we're going to do, it's going to lower the grocery tax. One thing about the income tax going down is that this will generate growth for Mississippi. There's no question that a company looks at Mississippi and they say, okay, we're going to have a lower income tax here. That means I can pay my workers a little bit less of a wage, yet they get to take more home. That would drive them here. I know that, the Navy base, if you want to be a Tom Cruise Navy pilot, you go to 2 places. You go to Kingsville, Texas, or you go to Meridian, Mississippi. Okay, before that, you go to Pensacola, Florida for some training. Just about everybody takes up residency there, leaves their residency there because it's no income tax. This could be a good way of having those pilots that come through here be able to have residence here. another thing, a lot of the people that are in the Navy, when they do their time and they get out, a lot of people go to FedEx over in Memphis to fly, a lot.
Yeah.
And that's where they have residence. And there's a lot of people that would love to come to Mississippi around that Memphis area, but they stay there even though they have all their high crime and they basically live in North Mississippi in DeSoto County, but their residency is in Tennessee. So I think this is something that would help spur growth. Again, is this something to write home about, voting yes or no? No, sir, but I just want to be transparent about it, tell you about it, come on the show and talk about it. And, either I could vote yes or I could vote no. And the opportunity to be able to vote yes on eliminating the income tax, where my kids would not have an income tax, where my grandkids, if I have any grandkids, that they'll never worry about having an income tax, I'd have to be yes on.
Okay. We got more coming up with Senator Jeff Tate in just a moment.
Leadership isn't about making promises. It's about showing up, listening, and getting things done. As mayor, I'll be visible, accessible, and accountable. You deserve transparency in how your tax dollars are spent, and I'll ensure clear budgeting policies that build public trust. And when crisis strikes, I'll lead with experience, just like I did during the COVID-19 pandemic. Meridian deserves a mayor who's ready to work on day one. I'm ready. Let's move Meridian forward together. On April 1st, vote for Percy Bland as your mayor.
Scotty Ray, and we're back at Doc's Toyota. Look what we have here for you in Philadelphia. This is a brand spanking new Tundra. Now this is a two-wheel drive. Do you need a lot of room in your truck? Do you carry a lot of stuff when you're running around? This is the truck that you need. If so, come on, let's get a closer look at this. This is a gray color. As a matter of fact, let's open up the door so you can see what's inside. Now this is one roomy truck. We've got everything that you're looking for in here. Cloth seats, it's gorgeous. And look at the room that we've got here. Now if you're like me and you have a lot of stuff to carry out, look at all the room that you've got to put coins and different things in. It's plenty of room. And talk about leg room in the back. We've got tons of that for you back here. See it all today. Come by for a test drive. You'll like what you see. Service after the sale is all happening here at Doc's Toyota. See them today. Highway 16 West in Philadelphia for your next Toyota. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel. As the seasons change, so do your clothes, and Garrett Sports Center on 8th Street has exactly what you need. Haybo shirts, long and short sleeve, also Hulk shirts, and America's favorite brand, Carhartt. Whether you need work pants or slacks for church, and nothing lasts like a pair of Carhartt overalls. Maybe it's a set of boots that you need. From box to lacrosse, they have the boot for you. And as hunting season rolls in, they have all the camouflage you need and toboggans to boot. Garrett Sports Center, 3505 8th Street, Meridian.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. I put this up this morning. I want you to take part of it. Let me show you. We've got an election coming up, as we saw some commercial for Mayor Meridian. We got this posted this morning. If you'll go here, this is a straw poll. And if you will go here and you'll click right in the comments, is the first comment. Click on that. You'll be able to choose. Here's the questions here that we put up on that. Now, this is the Democratic primary. This is not everybody who's running. This is just the race that is coming up. Here's what we have. Ty Bell, Percy, Rita, and Jimmy Smith that are running for Mayor Meridian. What main reason are you voting for this candidate? We're trying to figure out why. Yeah. Then here, what age range are you? And then what zip code you're from. Guys, look, I'd like the demographics of each part of Meridian as we know where you're coming from.
And there's no ID check when you get on this site. But look, come on now. Y'all do this right. If you live in the county and you can't vote, don't go on this poll.
Well, we put that on there, the zip code, so we would know where you're voting from.
39305 is city county, 39307 city county, 39301 is city county. So But if you're a county resident and you can't vote for the city elections, don't go to this poll. Go look at it. But let's get some type of something that we can look at, and it may be halfway right.
When will we get results on that? When will we be able to view that?
I can update it 3 times a day, put the results so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I got to talk back to my person that does all that. She's all over it. But it does not show it as it comes across as you vote. It does not.
Right.
We'll have to update it and show you what.
Well, I did the opposite of what Odie just explained, but I did it before he said that. So,
but that's why I put the zip code on there of showing what area you're from, and it'll show those areas that have county leanings to it.
I tell you what, if someone's smart, they'll try to advertise on that link.
Yeah,
I think
that'd be a good one, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it will get traffic there. And we will. We've got the app out. We're waiting. If you've got an Apple phone, it's already there.
I've had your app for months now, Scotty Ray. I'm waiting for it.
It's just updated now.
It's updated now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the other phone?
Android.
The Android. It's getting approved to change that. We had one app and we changed the way it looks.
I think I've gotten 2 alerts from the app over the last few. Like there's a fire here or something like that.
So that is up and going. But vote on this. We'd like to know where you're thinking. Again, go to our Facebook page, or you can go to our
the new app.
The app, and we'll have it also here in a minute on our ScottyRayReport.com, to where you can cast a vote.
You're everywhere. You're everywhere.
But it gives us it's good to know what's going on in the community. And we'd just like to know your thoughts of where you are as we head into this next election as to what's going on. So there you go. Do all that. We had a wreck last night, 20th Street, 28th Avenue. 3 cars involved as we get there. Little rump row there. Jeep with some major damage there. Oop, can't fix that door.
No, you had to. But Chet can cut all that whole side off and put a brand new side on it.
Here's your third car. It got bumped into that light pole there.
Unless your airbags went off, then it's total.
Mississippi Power had to go hunt up a new pole, I think, last night to bring it on down.
Oof.
Yes, this when they get cracked, they got to go.
So that was a 3-for-1 right there?
A 3-for-1.
Okay.
That happened last night. So things that we have to, as we talk back about taxes and things, Jeff, at the end of the day, and I know as you laid out your plan there, is it one way or the other to where it's pretty close to a wash on all of this, but it's perceived as being better to bring industry to Mississippi? Is that what I'm gathering out of this?
Well, I can tell you this. Governor Tate Reeves put out there that basically we're going to have a special session to eliminate the income tax. So y'all figure out a way now, or I'm going to make y'all figure out a way later to do away with the income tax. Like he made that crystal clear that is his number one goal.
What is it? Because we've heard Shad White talking that there's waste in the state of Mississippi. What are lawmakers, and I'm talking those high-ranking people that can actually do something, what are they doing to trim the fat in Mississippi to where there is waste? I'm sure that there are some jobs that pay way too much for what the communities can stand. What are we going to do about this?
I will say that is one good thing about this bill. What we are doing is we are taking away money from our general fund. So the general fund is where all the pet projects are. That's where all the high salaries and all that comes from. Is from the general fund. When we eliminate 2% from the grocery tax, that means every dollar less that we all spend on groceries, that's that much less that'll go towards these pet projects. When we do not have to file on April 15th our income tax, that's that much less that will go to pet projects and these high salaries. The gasoline tax is strictly to roads, bridges, highways, state aid roads, which will help out our counties tremendously, and Lauderdale County specifically. So Lauderdale County, we're in a unique position. We have like more bridges than like 80 other counties in our state. Like we have a ton of bridges around here. And our bridges are particularly old. They're all 40 to 60 years old. Well, guess what the lifespan of a bridge is? 40 to 60 years. Now, I'll give Rush Mayat some credit. He's gotten his hand on this, but he kind of inherited, and not necessarily he inherited a mess from his predecessor, but just the time he came in, it was just time for all these bridges that they're extinct now. They have to, be updated. This will help tremendously in making sure that we can have those bridges down for less time, that we have money that can go to them. Right now, there's 18 point some odd cents per gallon that is taxed on fuel in Mississippi, which is one of the lowest ones in the United States. And not all that money goes to roads and bridges. It goes to like 27 different places. Wildlife and fisheries is one of those. Now, I didn't vote for that, but that's where it is. And so what this will do is strictly stay with our roads, stay with our bridges, our state aid roads, highways, and so that, to answer your question, will help trim the fat to make sure that where these pet projects are, a splash pad somewhere on the Gulf Coast or something like that, that will be eliminated. It sounds like we're not going to have our project bill this year, so every year that I've been up there, they wait till the very last day or two of session, and all the projects. Now, projects can be good things. Like we had North Hill Street to get repaved. That was one of our projects. We've had a grand opening
for that. Yeah, we did. Yeah, ribbon cutting ceremony, best I remember.
We did. Mayor showed up for that one.
He did. Saw him.
Anyway, that will be. It sounds like that may be a thing of the past of having these projects.
Let me ask this, and you probably know this, and I just don't know it, and I've heard it before, and I can't remember. We talked about the lottery on that first show. Where does all of that money go? Is it to education, and is it really truly being used for education? Because our taxes never go down. It sounds like a great way we can bring in income to where the taxpayer wouldn't have to pay for the education, but I see no evidence of it.
So the lottery was passed, I believe, in 2018. It was before my time, but just a little bit before my time. It was passed, and the way that it was set up, the first $80 million go to highways, and then after that, every dollar that's collected goes to education. In 2028, that will then go away, and it'll be on the legislature then to decide, okay, now where does this money go?
So it'll be changed.
It can be changed. It can be changed in 2028. And so that's where the lottery money goes to. Now, the lottery is there. It's in effect. And so that could go to a lot of different things that could be, that could help Mississippi. But that's answered your question there.
Okay. There's a lot of questions we have when it comes to money across the state of Mississippi, how it's used, how it ends up at USM. I know there's a lot of people ask these questions concerning because you're the guys out there, ladies and gentlemen, that get up every day and put your shoelaces on and work, whether that's in an office or on a job site. It's tough out there. We got more coming up. Senator Jeff Tate joins us this morning as we talk about the expenses that are going on right here in your backyard. We'll be right back.
J&J Tire Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes, with the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian.
When it comes to enhancing your outdoor experience, you need a companion that can keep up. The Kubota RTV 850 Sidekick at Parrish is your ultimate utility vehicle for every adventure. From the deer camp, trail riding, or just working on the farm, the Sidekick delivers powerful performance and versatility. These units start at $15,499 cash and have a $2,000 rebate. Financing is available as low as $285 a month.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
Patrick Allen Companies has a wide selection of garage doors that will fit your style, add value to your home, and add curb appeal to your neighborhood. Patrick Allen also has top-of-the-line, energy-efficient replacement windows that will make your home look great while saving you money. We're family-owned and operated, and we take pride in our work. 5305 Highway 145 South in Meridian.
For all your garage doors and replacement windows,
call Patrick Allen Companies. Safety, service, satisfaction.
That button says we got to talk again. Welcome back. There's lots going on in Washington we hadn't talked about. It happened in 1912 today. You know what I'm talking about?
And I think they just started blooming, didn't
they? Yes, they did. It is absolutely gorgeous if you get a chance to go to Washington. Look at that.
Man,
those cherry trees are some of the
1912.
prettiest thing. Dylan Ray has sent me several pictures from Washington as he's out and about. Sitting back home, it's pretty.
Japan hadn't asked for their trees back.
We did have to dig up some.
Well, you know, French tried to get the Statue of Liberty back.
Are they getting it?
No.
Okay, then.
They said, y'all forgot. If it wasn't for us, y'all would be speaking German.
That's exactly right.
And
put
you want
them in
this
their
back?
place.
Yeah, okay.
That was a good comeback
It was.
to that.
Yes,
Perfect.
it was.
1914, a guy named Richard Denning was born. You're going, who?
Book 'em, Dano.
Yep. This would be the governor. Do y'all remember watching him on Hawaii Five-0?
Huh. I did not know his name.
He made a special deal. They wanted to cut him back. He goes, if I'm going to do this, I moved to Hawaii to retire. I'll be on your show, but you got to guarantee me X hours, so I'll make this amount to interrupt my vacation. And so that's how he became governor.
Well, all right, then.
Book him, Dano. This has to be the scariest woman that I've ever met.
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
Other than that one in Printer's Alley in Nashville many years ago. She was kind of scary, too.
Even Danny DeVito was scared of her.
Annie Ramsey. She was also the woman, I think, that was Throw Mama from the Train. Y'all remember her?
Yeah, and Goonies. Wasn't she in Goonies?
Also, Naked Gun. The Prison Break. You remember when he had to sneak out the prison and Mama was driving the car outside?
So, yeah.
The one that had Priscilla Presley in it.
Yeah. 2.5.
Yeah, that woman, she was paid well to look that way.
And they say ugly doesn't pay.
It does. As they say, it's just a light switch
Lord,
away.
Forgive me. Yeah.
It was a big day in Hazard County one time because this guy was born in 1939. He would be one of the greatest race car drivers there ever was. Anybody remember a guy named Cal Yarborough? He was big. He met the Dukes there. He had a black Charger. Bo had to drive it for him, if I remember right.
They had to race.
Yes, sir. That was a good show there. I liked Cal. Did he pass away? Does anybody know? My racing folks, do they know? It seems like not long ago he did.
Yeah, now that you say that.
It seems like it was. I'm not much on musicals. Anybody in here like those?
Nah.
No. Umbrellas and singing in the rain.
Grease.
Grease is maybe. Now, I watched Elvis. We're going to win this race.
I got
Elvis
tricked into one, and that was. Hey, I got tricked into one.
Tricked.
No
Tricked.
more.
Musicals are not my thing, and I know back in the day that they were very popular, and this was it. 52, Singing in the Rain premiered, and that's like watching The Hills Are Alive. Oh my heavens! What was that with the woman that run across the hills, and you know what I'm talking about?
The Hills Have Eyes is what I was thinking about.
The Sound of Music.
Sound of Music. Well, that's
Sound of Music. The Hills Have Eyes.
The Hills. I don't remember what it was said, but it was pretty bad. It was staticky. We had to watch it though. It was trailers for sale or rent, room to rent 50 cents. Is that right?
50 cent.
King of the Road went number one. It was Roger Miller back in '65.
Man. King of the Road.
What does that get you? A 4x12, 3. Yeah, it's been a while since I heard it.
Yeah.
I liked it. Mariah Carey, born back in '70.
Yeah.
Enough said. Well, get focused on
Next.
took up the whole screen there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Almost
top and bottom.
Almost busted your YouTube channel there. What happens after the fire is gone? Well, it's love is where you find it, and they sang about it today. Conway and Loretta, it was a big one. Daryl Singletary would re-record that. Woo, let me tell you, it was good. That boy could sing it. But Conway and Loretta done it first back in '71 on this day.
Karina said, Hills Have Eyes is a scary movie.
It is a scary
How do you
movie.
know about it?
He was trying to say The Sound of Music.
Yeah, The Sound of Music. The Hills Are Alive.
Oh, okay. All right.
Y'all remember that?
You don't
It's
watch
like Cal Yarborough died in '23, according to Mr. Charles.
Yeah, I thought it had been hid recently there. Man, he was such a good guy. I liked him a whole lot there. This would be the beginning of a career of a 13-year-old girl that stumbled upon the scene of music. Each and every one. I doubt there's a person that doesn't know who she is. Tanya Tucker. It was a debut today in '72 with Delta Dawn. What's that flower you have on? Could it be a faded rose?
Delta Dawn.
I like that a whole lot there.
Oh, here we go.
Boy, he was my hero as a kid, this guy. He lived down by the sea, didn't have nothing. Had him a good-looking Camaro and cruised around town. May have made $200 a case, maybe, on a good day.
One case a month.
The Rockford Files premiered today. Jim, I think, was his name, if I remember correctly. Jim Rockford. It was good. If you've never seen any of those, there's reruns somewhere. This ranks up there to me as one of the worst TV shows. It's better than Perfect Strangers, but it was kind of odd. It was a prelude before Three's Company came along, of men trying to figure out how to get into a women's bosom buddies. Do y'all remember that? It premiered in '82. Tom Hanks.
When they couldn't get a job, and it was for a woman, and so they started dressing like a woman.
Well, I think it was more that they couldn't get a room, and the only thing available was a sorority type thing, and they had to dress as women to get a cheap apartment. I think it's been a while.
You know.
Did you watch it, Jeff?
No, heck no, I didn't watch that. What I was going to say, you can go down a rabbit hole with interview with Dave Chappelle, who talks about how Hollywood tries to get all these actors to dress up as women.
They do.
And how he pushed back on it, and how they pushed hard on him to do it. And it's an interesting interview you listened to him about how there's something there. Anyway, that's just...
Well,
I didn't watch that. I'm just that's what I can contribute to.
There's and I know they used to have these contests around town, the womanless beauty pageant. I ain't doing it. I don't care what you do. I ain't taking part of it. I don't.
You don't have
that.
to wear high heels.
Well, I've seen it. I've judged one time. I thought, bless your heart, that beard there.
Judge that?
You know, one of your supervisors, Odie, was in one of those high heel running downtown contests.
Really?
I have that picture, and
could we share it?
Depending on what happens in the future, we'll see what happens. Okay, there's no blackmail going on here. Don't worry. Nothing to see here.
It could be released.
Yeah, it could.
Three people just coughed.
I'm trying to remember how this song started. I have not heard this. It says AM radio, probably. Her lips were warm. And I forget the next line, but it would end up, she left love all over me. It was Razzie Bailey who would have a number one in 1982. It was a great song. She left love all over me. But it was it's kind of like that theme of the way Love in a Hot Afternoon, Gene Watson. Good stuff there. I'd forgotten about this, and it was miserable. I had to sit through 3 weeks of this every night. They'd play like 2 hours of it, and it bored me to death. Who remembers having to be forced to watch when you didn't have another channel of the Thornbirds? Oh.
Well, I could go outside and play. I guess that was a good thing about growing up, having an imagination.
And Odie, I don't remember what the plot of that thing was. I just remember it being very, very boring to a kid.
So TV Guide's got Priest, Sex, and the Thornbirds.
That's the first thing I saw.
Yeah.
Is that like the title?
It had something to do with a priest. I just don't remember what it was.
Her kiss burns deep inside of me.
Oh, that's it.
I got you there, Scotty Ray.
Got you. Razzie Bailey, y'all. That is and I remember getting who sent that to me? Kenny. Kenny sent me not long ago. He was at a truck stop in Louisiana, and he'd gone to pick up a car and was bringing it back to Talbert Enterprises. And I get this picture, and on the side of this bus that had been in the bushes for years, Razzie Bailey's tour bus being towed off.
Oh, man.
And he said, only you would appreciate this. And he's probably
correct.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to run to you. Anybody remember that other side of the radio dial? Yeah, it used to be popular. That was him, Brian Adams. And then he went all liberal on me, and I had to delete him.
You mean like Tom Hanks?
Yeah, he's liberal, too. Yeah. But, and you got to give the guy credit. Summer of '69 was a great song.
Yeah.
It was a very good song. And he just thinks way different than me. I always liked this guy for some reason. He had a cool name, Billy D. Williams. Anybody remember Billy D?
Oh, yeah.
There he is. He got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He was always dressed to the T, always there.
He was the mayor in Batman, I believe.
I believe you're right.
Wasn't he?
Yep.
1985.
I can't remember which one it was, but he was.
Yeah. Hollywood. That thing stretches for miles now, doesn't it? The Hollywood Walk of Fame. Those stars.
Never been there.
Trump got one, and they've tried to tear it up 2 or 3 times. And who couldn't forget this movie?
Yeah.
White Men Can't Jump.
I love that movie.
That is a good movie.
That's one I can talk about. Yeah.
See, and I don't remember much about it.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, so he was a hustler. The white guy was.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, yeah. And so he hustled
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes, yeah. And then Wesley Snipes hustled him, and then they came together and they went in this tournament and
they hustled other people.
Yeah, and so that's,
good plot there.
Mm-hmm.
He can't outdo. I don't know if y'all know this movie or not. It made me think of movies. The Other Guy. Did you ever see that?
The Other Guy.
Where he shows up. He's in high school. And he's chasing this.
You don't.
Yeah, the eye thing.
Yeah.
What's the comedian?
Yes, but it's not the other.
Yeah.
The new guy.
The new guy. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
get it right now. Okay, yeah.
The new guy.
They brought him in on a truck, and had him handcuffed.
I really enjoyed that. And he'd go to the prison to learn how to act at school.
Yeah.
I really found that show funny.
He said you get the biggest, baddest one, and you hit him right in front of everybody. Well, every time he got him and hit him, the bell had rung, and everybody went back to class. He's like, I got to do this again. Yeah, Snake Eyes. Yeah.
I could comment a lot about that movie.
I don't know what year that was, but
I was in high school, so it was early 2000s.
And that little scrawny guy that played the main part of that.
Yeah,
you got to give the boy credit. He was good at what he done. Let's see what else happened today.
Why'd you skip that one? That kind of started off my career here.
We'll get to that one in just a moment.
Skip. See, I don't get to see what y'all are previewing over.
Well, I accidentally rolled too far. 1993, this guy would come along, and it would be When My Ship Comes In. Y'all remember Clint Black?
Yeah.
He was almost still country back then. He had a hat still. It wouldn't be long till he hooked up with Hartman, and he'd lose the hat and really lose his whole country roots. You don't ever hear from that guy anymore. You notice that? Because it's over.
Yeah,
Gone with the wind. This would be at 1998.
So this is. I was up all night at a wreck. All day long. I hadn't slept in probably 30 hours.
He's going to bring back this terrifying moment.
So I was tired. And when you get like that, you just kind of, when it comes in your head, it goes right back out. And I heard about this for about 3 weeks, and still people talk about this today.
But it was 1998 that this was approved. There's a lot of people that enjoyed it. There's some people that thought, and they thought, oh, no. Yes, sir. Viagra was approved.
They started giving it to all the men in the nursing homes.
And I'm not going to ask what I asked that day.
It keeps them from rolling out of bed at night. So that started it right there.
Has nothing to do with me. Right here. Let's move on to. I did not care for this actor.
Oh, it was Arthur, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't think of a movie that I ever liked that he done. Ever. Dudley Moore. Do y'all remember him?
Arthur and
British.
Liza Minnelli. What was her?
It's kind of like he was drunk. I couldn't understand him.
Well, he was that entire movie.
It done nothing for me. It was just one of those. As we go back, this I know there was a lot of people that identify with this because there's so many nurses and the people that work in the medical field. Anybody remember this old TV show that came out, Grey's Anatomy?
My wife loves that show.
No, it's about who's dating who, really, isn't it? Isn't that what
I
that
never watched it. That's her thing.
It doesn't do it for me either.
Something like that.
But I know there's a lot of people that love it. After many, many moons.
Soul Train. Used to watch this every Saturday morning.
Well, it's over now. It ended in 2006. That was a big show. Don, I can't remember his last name, that hosted that show all those years. But Soul Train was big, and it was right there with Solid Gold Saturday Night or something to that effect there. 2010, these two would take the stage together and have a big hit. Blake Shelton, y'all remember him, along with Trace. Hillbilly Bone, I don't know what that was really about, but it hit. I don't know what a hillbilly bone is. I'm trying to decipher that as we speak. This has been a year ago today. Y'all remember this happening?
You see all those containers that got knocked off that ship, and what was it? Timu lost $11.
That was cold. You're going to be stuck in a nursing home one day. Don Cornelius said that may have been his name. Was that right? Don
yes,
Cornelius?
it was. It's exactly it.
But boy, they could say that just right. Soul Train. I can't hit that note that they would do, but a popular show that was. And that's kind of a look down this day in history as we look back on all this. We'll be right back. We got more things that happened in Meridian. We got a little bit more to beat out of Jeff. To ask out of Jeff here in a minute.
Experience matters, and relationships matter. Joe Norwood is ready to lead on day one because he's already built the connections that get results. It's time to bring our fair share back to East Mississippi. Let's keep growing together. Let's let Joe be Joe. Joe Norwood, not your average Joe. Paid for by Friends to Elect Joe Norwood.
The selection is always changing at Massey Supermart Auto Sales with low-mileage cars and trucks. How about a Z71 2500 HD? Or maybe you're looking for the Ford F-150 with lots of leg room in it. Plenty of SUVs like the Explorer for the family. Or if you're looking for a gas saver to go back and forth to work, come by and see the mini cars like this Nissan.
The low-profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
At Pettit Jewelers in Philadelphia, Mississippi, trust Nicole with your priceless heirloom jewelry. With generations of refined expertise, she ensures your cherished pieces are meticulously cared for. Pettit Jewelers, Philadelphia.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealer's Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
Okay, we got to talk again. We continued this because really, I want y'all to watch this because I laughed and laughed. Let me pull up this so everybody can see. This is, as you Google this is the new guy. This is Eddie Griffith, and that is that. Yeah. He is absolutely funny. This little scrawny guy here was good.
And they showed up, and it wasn't a regular police cruiser that brought him to school. He showed up in an armored vehicle. And they opened the back, and they had these big poles that hooked into his handcuffs that drug him out of the truck. They made him where he was supposed to be this real bad dude.
That's the eye thing there.
Yeah, snake eyes.
That was before politics got into these movies, before any of that wokeness happened, where it was funny. You know what I mean? It was just funny.
And this, after he got his hair redone, it's not a good picture, but we'll go with this one. This is how he looked after that.
He had that lighter he'd always try to slick on. Yeah.
That used to be a big thing with Zippos. Y'all remember when people take their finger and snap them and they light? Back in the day.
Back in the day.
You don't even see Zippos on counters anymore.
Not near as much.
Used to have engraved lighters. Those days are gone also. Anyway, if you get a chance, check that movie out. It's old now. I don't know what year this was.
I don't know when it came out.
It's going to be early 2000s.
2002.
Yeah.
Wow.
But funny show. Golly, that's been 23 years ago. Now, we've had some reoccurring questions about this, that, and the other, Jeff.
Yeah, and I've jotted them down. So, Miss Donna, you asked about the pharmacy bill. That's a bill that I support our independent pharmacists. So, basically, right now, what we have is...
And that's Senate Bill 2677.
If you say so, yes, sir.
I wouldn't know that one.
It's one of those where we may have 5 different bills that could address it, which means we may have 5 different versions of how to address it. And that's where I was messaging back and forth with somebody on Facebook yesterday that wasn't, that didn't realize that just because there's a bill out there doesn't mean that there's not another bill. Could be a House bill, could be another Senate bill. But I'll tell you where I stand. I stand with our independent pharmacists, and we have very few of them out there now.
You're right.
Think about that. We have very few. What you have is basically some overregulations that are just helping CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart out and leaving our independent pharmacists out to dry. And so what that bill will do, depending on what the wording, and that's what you have to realize, that the wording in that bill can change. It has changed. And that's what the messaging back and forth that I had with someone is that whenever I voted on it, it was pro-independent pharmacy. The version of it now is just kind of neutral, so it doesn't really do anything. But again, it can change, and that's when, Scotty Ray, if you let me, in about 2 weeks, session will be over. We can actually come on here and actually talk about everything in its, how it finalizes out.
So now that would be the Senate would write this bill, and then it would go to the House, and the House could change one thing in it. They could change all of it. They could make their own out of your bill, and then it would go back and forth until you both agreed on.
This won't take 60 seconds to explain, but for you and all the listeners, viewers out there, let's just all pretend like we're senators and we're in the Senate, okay? The first few weeks, we draft our bills, and our bills go to committee, and we vote on the bills out of committee, and then they go to the chamber floor, and then we vote on them on the floor, and then they all go over to the House. Well, while we are doing that, the House is doing the exact same thing with their bills. So when we send our bills over, it's the same time that they send their bills over. Well, we are focused on what did they just pass. For the first few weeks, all we're focusing on is what did we in the Senate write. Well, now all we're doing is focusing on what did they in the House write. And they're doing the exact same thing on their end. And so they may be tweaking our stuff, making it better, making it worse, killing it, passing it, but we're busy on their stuff. Well, if we make one little change, even a comma, it's then a different bill, then it goes back, and instead of just volleying back and forth where we have amendment, you can only do this 3 times. We write it, send it to them, they send it back to us, and we either agree with it or send it to something called conference. Don't want to get too boring or into the weeds, but this is how the process works. Once it goes to conference, if we can't agree on it on the first 3 tries, then 3 members of the House, 3 members of the Senate come together. They either agree on a bill or don't agree on a bill. If they don't agree on a bill, it dies. But if they can agree on some type of compromise, that bill is a non-amendable bill, which means you vote it up or you vote it down. There's no making amendments on it. And so that's where most of our bills, including the pharmacy bill, is in right now. It's in conference. It's in where we have 3 senators, 3 representatives, closed door meetings, not open to the public, where they decide what is the final language of this bill going to be. And either they'll agree to it or they won't. If they don't, it dies. If they do, it'll come to both chambers, and then either a majority of us vote for it or a majority of us do not, and then it either becomes a bill or doesn't. And so, Ms. Donna, you had asked about the pharmacy bill. It's in conference right now. That Senate bill number that you said is one of them. And I am for the independent pharmacies, and I have been committed to the independent pharmacies for years now. Ms. Irby, you had asked about the retirement system on here. I want you to know that no current retirees, no current employees of PERS are affected by anything that we passed. What we passed is a new tier for retirement for state employees that'll start March of next year. And, right now, PERS is a great retirement system. Like it's a really good retirement system. It's not fundable. Like we're not able to, the PERS board, whoever they got to manage the funds just hasn't been doing a good job. So we've got to do something different. We're going to have a 401k style retirement system. So Ms. Irby, your retirement's not going to be touched. And last one, Ms. Karina Jones, you are a very cultured young lady, knowing the hills have eyes and knowing about everything that you've been commenting on. I just wanted to tell you that. So those are things that I jotted down. I may have missed something, but that's
well, let's go back to the polling that we talked about. We put up a survey a minute ago, and we want you to continue to vote on this. We've got some preliminary results so far of what's happened since we started. We've had 107 people vote.
This morning.
Of that 107, only 4 people outside of the city voted on it, as we can see by the zip code numbers. Here's what we have so far as we look at this. The Democratic primary, Percy Bland leading with 56%. Surprisingly, Jimmy Smith coming in second with 20%, Rita Jack following at 13%, and Ty Bell in last place with 12%.
So that'll give you a
it's a snapshot. And we're going to leave this up to see how this voting continues, but by far we see that Percy in the lead for mayor. This may change back and forth as we look at this. It's in the comments. If you'll click on this, cast your vote for it. We want your opinion of this. So that's the first snapshot that we've gotten from this morning.
Yeah.
And we'll
Pretty
be
cool.
making periodic posts about this throughout the day, so you'll be able to see.
That doesn't shock me, those results right there. But I will tell you this, that I'm not going to get in specifics of individual candidates, but that's very close to a runoff. Okay, Percy obviously is beating the brakes off of everybody else right there, but still you have to get over 50%. If this thing were to go to a runoff, which is going to be on April 22nd, somebody has a birthday that day, by the way. But anyway, if it goes to a runoff, there's going to be a second runoff going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And right now, voters for the last 4 years, including last Tuesday, 2 days ago, have been going to one polling place year after year after year after year. And all of a sudden, this Tuesday, they've got a new polling place to go to. It's going to cause confusion.
It is.
Whose voters are going to be more determined and persistent to go find where they need to go vote? Because I can tell you right now, voters on Election Day, they act a little funny whenever you go in there and your name's not in the polling book. And I get it, but I'm stating a fact. I put on over 40 of these, okay?
Right.
I've seen it. You walk into your polling location and your name is not on the books, and you're used to voting there year after year after year. And by the way, I've helped Donna Jill with dozens of elections since I left from there too. So I've seen this firsthand. When they go to that polling location that they just voted in last week and their name's not on the books, how irate are they going or not going to be? Are they going to be willing to go somewhere else, or is it going to be cool hand Luke and they'll be okay with it? There's going to be a lot of question marks with that, and whose voters
or do they
are
just
going
go
to
home?
go do it. You know, I'm not going to say, the old cliche, well, it's whoever gets their people out to go vote. Well, of course it's whoever gets their people out to go vote. That's how you win. But who's going to get their people out to go vote and educate them, and not educate, but inform them, hey, you may have another place to go to. And by the way, there's going to be a lot of people that do have to go to two different places. That'll have to go to two different places.
Now, would affidavit come into effect there? We saw where we had 20 affidavits on this last run, and only, 9 came?
9 of them
eligible?
counted. So here's how an affidavit ballot works. If you are registered to vote inside the county, and so for this situation, be inside the city, and you have moved and not re-registered, you still legally can vote, but you have to vote via affidavit ballot because you're in a different location. We have to verify who you are and that you live there and that you should receive that ballot, because if you live inside the city but you go to a location that you don't live in and you get a different ballot, that's not valid. The only race that you can do that in is the presidential race, and that's a constitutional thing, and we don't have that anywhere else. So to put it into the viewers here, let's say you live in Collinsville, you're registered to vote in Collinsville, you move down to Wynot, you don't let Donna Jill know, you still can vote, but you have to do it via affidavit ballot. And when you do that, you're basically signing on, you're basically re-registering to vote is what you're doing at the same time as voting, because you're signing on the dotted line, saying who you are, showing your ID, saying where you live, we verify it. And so that's where the affidavit ballot would come in, is when you go to a place, your name's not on the poll book, but you should be at that location.
Wow, this is interesting, informative. There's a lot of things that we don't know about government that goes on behind the scenes. Jeff has been helping us out with this.
And talk about the turnout for House of Representative race. Did that surprise you? Did you see those low numbers and expect that?
Well, so we were in session. I was in Jackson, and coming back, I thought, well, hey, Meehan's in this district. Let me stop off at the Chunky exit, come in Old 80, and see what they had going on. There's Miss Donna Collins, who worked the elections for me years from years. She was out front, and she said, Jeff, you ain't gonna believe it.
You're the first person to come in the door.
We've got nobody. And I said, Miss Donna, have I ever? No, I've never. And there was nobody that voted. And the lowest turnout I've ever seen was on Valley Road. We had 18 people show up. This was zero folks showed up. And so then I made my way over to Lost Gap, the South Nellyburg precinct. They had about 15 or so that had voted. The turnout inside the city was a little bit higher. I think 13% was our overall turnout. We had about a 1% turnout on absentees, so we kind of did a little bit better than what I thought we'd do based on absentees. I thought it'd be below 10%, but it's going to be lower than 13% for the runoff.
It will be.
So in 2010, we had redistricting in the city, and you can ask Ms. Donna Jill this, 80% of residents had 2 different locations to vote in city and county elections. In 2013, Mayor Sherry Berry allowed me to come in. We completely inversed that whole thing. It's like 78% are now had the same precinct. When 2020, we had redistricting again, and the mayor said over and over that he wanted me to help and be involved. Dr. George Thomas said that over and over at public places. And I never got the invite. I eventually kind of made my way in, tried to make some suggestions. Every suggestion, no. And this was not by the city council. This was by who the city council hired to do the redistricting. I was able to force my way to the city council and demand that one change be made that was going to make the vast majority of the largest precinct in Meridian have to go to another location. Like I demanded that the city council, not make that change. They agreed to that, passed that. I don't know what the statistics are now of what the last changes were, because I wasn't involved, wasn't asked.
We just simply hadn't heard much out of the mayor's office the last 4 years.
Marcia, no, your retirement is safe.
Yeah, Ms. Marcia, in other words, current, and like let's even go beyond this. The question is, will teachers be affected by the retirement change? No, they will not. Not current teachers, and even like my wife, who taught at Northeast, taught at Southeast, but hasn't taught for nearly a decade at either one of those. She's not even affected. It'll only be brand new employees starting March of next year.
Because she's still vested in the system.
She's still in the system, right?
So you highly suggest getting hired before March of next year.
That's
the ticket.
Yeah,
people are saying that.
Go for it there. We'll be right back as we travel along this morning.
Elect my dad to City Council Ward 5.
Elect Dustin Hill to City Council Ward 5.
Elect my dad to City Council Ward 5.
I'm Dustin Hill, and as the only candidate with proven experience, strong leadership, and a track record of success in the business community, I humbly ask for your vote in the Republican primary for Ward 5 City Council on April the 1st.
Elect Dustin Hill!
Looking for a deal you can't pass up? Right now, drive off in a quality used car for just $299 down and only $299 a month here at Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Meridian. That's right, good and reliable cars packed with features at a price you'll love. $299 down, $299 a month. Look, I'm not kidding. This is a real offer that our customers have taken advantage of for years now. Come see us today, Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Meridian.
Philadelphia Gun and Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray along with Odie as we begin another great day. You're off to the races here beginning at it's already 8:15. A big day ahead of you for all of you. This is Thursday. It's got a beautiful day. I want to remind you as we look at this, don't forget to go by and vote on this. This is on our webpage. You can also find it there on Facebook. It's pinned to the top there. Click on it, answer these questions, and we'll be posting results as we get this from the poll. Who you voting for Mayor Meridian? We like to know these things going into this, and we're trying to make it as accurately as we can. So check that out. It's pinned to the top of our page there, and we'll have it before long on. And
while you're doing that, go ahead and, especially if you got an Apple right now, I don't know if you can see that Scotty Ray Report. What you're going to see is a white box. It's got SRR on it on an app. An Apple app right now is the only thing that's working. The Android, they had to dumb it down a little bit for it to work on that platform.
I'm gonna help you out. What you want to do is you want to go to the App Store and search for the Scotty Ray Report and download that app. It's free of charge. It doesn't cost you anything.
That's right.
And you can get notifications there if you want to. I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Scotty Ray? Yeah. So you'll be able to know what's going on faster than anybody else.
You can even keep up with the live stuff right there on the phone.
And if you don't have a social media, and there's a lot of people that don't have social media accounts, we will have everything that we have on social media on there as well. And if you just don't know how, and honestly, there's people that just don't quite understand or where to click on social media, and this way it'll be right there in one place all together.
So put your website up and see where that link is on the website.
I don't think she's had time to get it up for me.
They all go to the app. They all go to the App Store. That's where they're.
Yeah. All
right, but hey, let's talk about this app.
You'll have to get you a Coke and get ready to take that survey here as soon as it gets on the website.
It'll help.
That'll help you. You'll think right through it. You'll get smarter.
Wedding announcements, obituaries, weather, all types of things can be found on this app. So that's what, in other words, people need to realize that it's not just this show. It's not just that. There's a lot of things there. I didn't hear you say what now.
He's trying to tie the two together.
Are you rolling out of bed? What are you doing?
Yeah.
We had a pick-em-up truck stolen in Hickory.
Pick-em-up truck.
Ooh, if you happen to see this, this is about an 04 model. It was stolen from the Hickory. Contact Jody Pennington, his office, or simply call 911 if you've seen it. The tag number is NU2-941. NU2-941. If you happen to see this truck parked somewhere, they sure would like to have a talk with someone who's driving it. That's a naughty thing to be doing. We also, I told you I'd gone up to Neshoba County and they were chasing somebody. It was kind of like, and he ran through the Bruce, and he ran through the brambles, and he ran so fast that the hounds couldn't catch him. What was that song? Yeah, y'all are not with me.
Got me.
Wow. Man, I need help with y'all. He's captured there.
They got him anyway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He aggravated assault charge there. Johnny Horton, come on now. He ran through the briars and he ran through the brambles and he ran so fast that the hounds couldn't catch him.
Johnny
Horton on down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico.
I know that song about the hush puppies. And then old Red snooped them out.
Yeah, totally two different songs there. That was good there. Just been a long time since I heard that one. Yeah. As we take a look about, we come up on a wreck yesterday. Ooh, boy, this is one of those that you can't buff it out, as they say.
Airbags are out. That car's done.
They were trying to pull this fender. He worked on that for quite a while. I don't know if he ever got that pulled out there. He was trying to get it off the tire there where he could move the truck.
It looks like it's bent just a little bit in the middle.
Yeah, it got some damage there for sure. Battle of New Orleans. Everybody knows that now.
Fired our guns and the British kept it coming.
Do anyway.
Yeah. And we grabbed a gator and the gator lost his well. We fired our guns.
Keep going. Don't stop now. Don't stop now.
In 1814, we took a little trip.
Along with Colonel Jackson down in mighty Mississippi. Took a little bacon, took a little beans, and we fought the bloody British in the town of New Orleans. Yeah, anyway.
General Andrew Jackson.
That was a good song. They don't make them like that no more. Definitely. Let's see what else has happened here across. I wanted to bring this up, Jeff.
Yes.
This is one of those. You were here for this ceremony, and I want you to explain what this is about.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. James Henry Taylor. This was a Army soldier. Him and 92 other Army soldiers, along with 11 civilians, were in a plane, and this was in 1962. Now, we did not say that we were in war in Vietnam until I think about 65.
Right.
However, with Vietnam, along with, let's just say, the rest of the world, we are involved, even though we may not be involved.
On paper.
And on paper, right. And so, unfortunately, 93 soldiers and 11 civilians are given their families are given no answers. They just simply said they're missing.
That's all they got.
They were given a report of what happened, and every single line was redacted. Every line, every word, every letter. And so basically, the families, and this is our one Mississippi family, is trying to go around and say, look, our loved one died in the Vietnam War. Say that. because right now their name cannot be on any monument that has to do with the Vietnam War because we weren't technically in it at that time, even though we were. And so this family is trying to do what they can to try to get answers, to get closure, and that's what we did this past week or just a few days ago. We had the Taylor family up there to address the Senate. They addressed the House also. This is a DeSoto County family, so that's up just south of Memphis, and just to try to raise awareness of what's going on. And I had so many senators come to me and say, I had no idea this was a thing. And of course, everybody voted unanimously to pass this resolution to honor him and to say that if there's anything that the state of Mississippi has with Vietnam, that we would include his name.
That is awesome, and we appreciate you standing up for our military. Always have. That means a lot, and this right here goes a long way for that family.
How many people do you think that? Because you won't get your name on a wall with this. If you died before we actually, like the Vietnam
There's
War,
no telling how many.
would,
There's no telling, and I didn't think of this until they came to me. Senator Cindy Hyde Smith has filed 2 bills to try to rectify this, and it never comes up for a vote in committee.
That's a shame because man, these guys gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And never to be recognized unless this is changed.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask this, and maybe you know the answer is: who do you contact if you're average Joe watching this show right now? Who do you contact to get something moving on this? Who would pay attention to this in Jackson?
Well, we've done this on the state level, but it needs to be on the federal level. So your congressmen, your 2 senators, which would be Roger Wicker and Cindy Hyde Smith now. And kudos to Senator Cindy Hyde Smith for doing something. She's trying. She's got to get the committee and the other members on the committee to be willing to bring it up for a vote.
And we've got good representation on this, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, sir. So we'll see, but yeah, it was a solemn moment, as you put it, there in the Capitol.
Important. We just got in. Let me go to this. We just got in an accident that has happened. Let me get this refresher. We can show you what's going on downtown Meridian. 24th Avenue and 11th Street. We've got an accident right now. Use caution in there. This is going to be right by All Stars. Not far off 8th Street. Too far from there.
Yeah, 11th. In between 11th and 12th.
Yep. So use caution in that area. Metro ambulance on scene. It doesn't look to be horrible, but anytime that you're in a fender bender, it ain't good. We all know that. It shakes you up there. So that happening this morning. Also, one last thing. We couldn't help but notice that you bought your wife a new dress.
Yeah, we had a good time at Children's Museum.
This was to raise money for the museum?
That's right. I'll say this: the Children's Museum came in at like the perfect time for my kids. So that's a good place whenever like your kids can walk and go around and play on their own.
Yeah.
That came online a few years or opened a few years ago, about the same time that my kids are been able to enjoy it, and they've still got a few more years before they'll be too old for that kind of stuff. And so yeah, we had a good time there.
Is that sticks or sparklers?
Those are sparklers.
That's
there's a store that we can't say the name of in Marion, but that's they donated those. So
well, that was nice of them to do that.
That was sure nice of them to do that.
Big event there. Glad that worked out. And and let's be honest about this: the Children's Museum does bring people to Meridian.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a food or beverage tax attached to it, and yet
to survive,
does, right?
It stays on its own.
Imagine that. And I've never been thrown out of there. Got a list.
Yeah, sir, you cannot be in there.
Pack your bags. And
okay.
Go. Well, wait a minute, didn't I?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Anywho.
Talking about another place that takes care of itself. Why Not Motorsports Park? Tomorrow night, Saturday night. If you want to go see some good racing super late models, that's where it's going to be. Spencer Hughes, right here from Causeyville, Mississippi. Grew up in racing downtown Causeyville at the 4-way stop. He's going to be here. Races Lucas. I'm sure
he's racing too.
He's racing. He races for the Lucas Oil Racing Series. So he's traveling from the word we got. He will be here racing this weekend. He can sure wheel a race car. Go by and support him, along with everybody else down there in the track. But Spencer Hughes, that's a good guy. Him and his sister Ellie, twin sister. both of them race. And,
Yeah, those are good people.
Good family. Good family.
Kyle Rutledge used to be unbeatable down there. Did you know that?
Yeah, he did.
He was unbeatable, but then he would never put any money back into his vehicle, and every year he'd just get worse and worse.
Tim,
and pathetic, and that's
him and Tim,
exactly
his
what
dad,
happened.
whoever was better got their car go inside at the shop. The other car had to sit out at the racetrack all week.
Mm-hmm.
So if he did better than his daddy did, then he could take his race car home and put it inside.
Well, yeah.
But yeah.
Hey, don't
it's a
forget,
little different.
This is coming up this weekend. Also, as we get ready for this, the Extravaganza Spring Show underway, the gift show. It's going to be at the old former Joann's location. I hope you'll come out and enjoy this. This weekend. If you want more information on it, you can call Becky at 480-1776. Big time, and don't forget, Jack will be up there with sausage dogs and more cooking this weekend. Hope you'll come up and see us there.
Oh, also Sunday, we can't forget this. Sunday, from 2 to 4 p.m., Clark County Equipment at the courthouse, retirement party for our dear friend, love him to death, Barry White, 35 years of service, Chief Deputy Clark II of the Clark County Sheriff's Department. Man, he is going through a tough time. Continue the prayers for him. But he is going to do his retirement this Sunday, 2 to 4. Come down there and be with him and show him how much you care for him.
Absolutely. How often does this happen over at the Capitol? Newton County High School came and sang.
Yeah, it happens, I'd say 1 to 2 times a week that we'll have a school come in with their choir. We had West Lauderdale in about a month ago. Yeah, it's a cool thing. It's always around lunch where everybody's gavelled out, so you got a second and just you don't even know really what they're saying. Sometimes it just sounds so good. I'm the type, I need closed captioning on the TV and on the radio.
I get that.
Worst thing I can ever do is look up the lyrics to a song and it just ruins it for me. It's what's in my head that's good.
That's not what that says.
Yeah, it's not. This is a horrible song now. But no, they had good time singing there.
So enjoy stuff like that. Hey, we got a horse that has been found in Kemper County. If this happens to be Linville, is where he's at. It's kind of like Little Joe's horse. Little Joe's horse has been found, and again, we can hook you up with the folks that have it. They'd like to get him back home there. He's been there for a few days now.
Did they ever get Charlene back home?
Is she missing?
Yeah, we talked about her the other day.
No, I think she's still out, as a matter of fact.
There she is.
Donkey back out again on Homestead Road. He just likes to go out. The grass is better on the side of the road. Y'all watch Donkey. He has figured out a way to open gates or something, and he's a pretty steady visitor there. We got any birthdays, Odie?
We do. This is a slow one.
Okay.
But Dawn Parker Lucky having her birthday today. Brenda Nelson and Clint Sudbury, 47 today. That's all we saw up there. And just 3 of them this fine 27th day of March of 2025.
I was out yesterday and I found a place where not to park your car in Clark County. This is just the best advice I can give.
Yeah.
This drove right up underneath the old Tommy lift there.
But Odie, you and Greg modeled at this scene, didn't y'all?
We did. When the call came out,
look at that modeling right there. Is that going to be part of the calendar?
We got this going on. Yeah, we were thinking about it. We work great with Clark County. Tasha over there, she responds and helps us. We help them. It's awesome to know that you
we
can
saw
work
the hugging on the
back
side of the road, and everybody else did too, Odie. It's going to get back to your wife eventually.
That's all right. Her and Tasha dance together every time we go to a conference.
All righty then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but that originally was, I think, because I went to that, and it was originally thought to be in Lauderdale County, and it would be a little bit further up the road. As I got to Mathis Peaches, I realized there ain't no wreck here. And so I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going until I got into down in Anthony territory, and we would find the wreck there. No injuries, thank heavens. But whenever anybody
that
says
could have been bad,
18-wheeler in a car,
it
always is very scary as we do that. Jeff, we can't thank you enough for coming and spending some time with us.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me again. Hope it wasn't too boring going over everything, but this was something that we needed to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
The legislature isn't always the best place in the world, but it's part that goes on. And again, we're having our conferences that are going on now where these bills will finally be finished, and be happy to come back on in a week or two and talk about what got finalized or what didn't get finalized.
Get what's there. And I want to remind you, if you're going up 22nd Avenue today, this is probably still going to be there. This is the scene there at 11th Street and 22nd Avenue. Let me zoom in on that where you can see it a little bit better there. As you'll see there, right up there, a big hole in the road.
Yeah, a little pile of dirt right there in front of it. Well, so we're just getting breaking news.
And what are we getting?
That truck over in Clarko County was the Jeff Tate and Nick Lisi seafood truck.
It ain't stopping. We didn't stop for anything. We're still going.
I mean, look at there. Yeah.
Where'd we get this news from?
Nick himself said that was our seafood truck.
It got bumped. Were you aware of that?
We're insured. We're good. No oysters were damaged in this road.
They are still good to go. So if you ordered something from them,
I'd have done an interview had I known that.
Well, they wasn't driving. You know, they just sell this stuff.
I can't reveal everything. I don't know what Nick's doing. I don't know what he's thinking saying.
Yeah. We had a couple more. Terry Gentry's got a birthday today. Claudia Warren's got a birthday. And Candy Bar has a birthday.
Hope everybody enjoys it. And also, we want to say condolences to the former Union mayor has passed away. We wanted to say condolences to that. Wayne Welch, to him and his family. We do hate that. As we go on that. As we get ready to leave, Odie, have you got a Bible verse for us today?
Yeah, let's see what the good Lord put on our little app here. And he's going to send us to 1 Peter 4, verse 8. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. Doesn't matter if we agree with every single thing everybody says. We have a right to disagree and have our own opinion. But there's one thing is for sure, and we should always love our neighbors. Love each other, and it will go a long way. It's like smiling at someone. You smile at somebody that's got a frown, and that may be the one and only smile they get that day. Be nice, love one another, and put God in your heart. Y'all have a wonderful day. Fun Friday. Be here just tomorrow. It won't be long. Until then, remember, we love you. Have a great day.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.